You can't really review a tire by riding a few kilometers in your neighborhood. Our new Alpha H1 tires for KTM Duke 390 and RC 390. We decided to make a road trip with my friends and subscribers. And we are out here a couple of 100 kilometers away from Kolkata in Gangani. And on the way, we faced some great highways where we did some top speed runs, changed lanes to see the high speed stability and performance of the tires. And then we hit some nice twisties. These are highway corners, high speed corners, so we were getting anywhere about 100 kilometers plus corner speed, and we put it against the Metzeler's H-Wetted tires, which is coming stock with the KTM Duke and RC. These tires gave me confidence, and I've always been a long-standing user of the Metzelers, so I know the limits of that as well. And finally, we landed up in this majestic place where I'm giving out my tire review.
I decided to give Apollo Alpha a try because they've been recommended by quite a few people, including editor of Overdrive, Shubhabrata Marmar. And my Metzelers were wearing out quite quickly, and when they got old, they were very prone to punctures, so I decided to give Apollo a shot. Next morning, it was a time for a ride on the highway. The feedback was great right from the beginning, but before recommending it to you guys, I decided to plan a trip covering 400 kilometers on a single day. Quite a big turnout for today. We have got an Apache 160, then we have the FZ25, the Apache RTR 204V, the 2017 KTM Duke 390 running the Metzelers, and obviously mine, the 2013 KTM Duke 390 running the new Apollo Alpha. The cruising speed was agreed at 120 km per hour, but these are W-rated tires. That means a top speed rating of 250 km per hour. My Duke only does 173 km per hour, and even in that speed, the motorcycle was super stable. Apollo claims that they have put in a 0-degree steel belt, and they're the first Indian brand to do that, and this actually helps the tire maintain the rounded profile at higher speeds. And after pushing it to the limits, I have to agree. I have done top speed on my W-rated Metzelers as well, and even they performed quite well at top speed. So I would rather call this round a draw. We stopped at a dhaba to reunite with the slower riders.
আরে ও চালাচ্ছে 70 80 আমরা দুজন ফাটিয়ে দাঁড়িয়ে চালাচ্ছি অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট করে তো সব ধাওয়া হয়ে গেছে ওভারটেক করে চলে গেল এই যে ওই 160 নিয়ে হ্যাঁ আমরা
And we were doing some quick lane changes and at speeds of over 130 kilometers per hour. I have put it through some corners, and thus far I like it more than the Metzelers. These seem to be the new go-to standards for the KTM Duke 390 tires. The other Duke 390 that's riding with us, and that's running Metzelers, so I'll be switching over to that bike and comparing the grip levels. I've changed tires over the past few years, and these are keeping up to every way, and in off-road it's actually performing a little bit better. Now, flickability, the Duke is an extremely flickable bike. These tires are just letting me carry that high lean angles even when I'm flicking it through, like that's happening. When you make a softer compound tire, what happens is you eventually lose out tire life, and that has been the main problem with the Metzelers. Otherwise, I was really happy with them. And the Metzelers were a little bit more prone to punctures, especially when they got older. Now what the Apollo has done is they have made the center of the tire having a harder compound and maybe a little bit more depth so that it wears out slower, because in all the Metzelers what we have seen is the center of the tire gets worse but the sides are still intact, But you have to throw the tire away because the steel threads have come out. They have been in the market for quite a while actually, so for those who have been using it have thus far said that yeah, the life's longer, but I cannot personally comment on that. And now let's go. It was some more hard riding till Kharagpur, and I switched bikes to compare against the Metzelers, which was on the 2018 Duke 390. When we reached Kharagpur, existing subscribers, you know what that means. That means some hardcore cornering. The new Duke 390 was great as usual. The front end feel gives it a huge advantage over the previous Duke 390, my version. I did a few loops with it and then switched over to my old Duke 390 which was running the Alpha H1. Right from the word go, I noticed remarkable difference. I have never cornered so hard on my motorcycle. One thing that was unusual is how quickly the bike dropped into the corner. I had to lift it up and put it back into the cornering line because it was running too tight a line, and you definitely have to get used to it.
See how good this holds the line. I mean, on another set of tires I would have probably had to do course correction. Here I just decided to lean it through.
Next was the mid-corner stability. Here the bike holds the line really comfortably, and it gives you that much more confidence to hold that lean angle, and even if you are running a little bit higher speed, you can just increase your lean angle. You don't have to pull out of the corner, and while pulling out of the corner, when you're doing that acceleration, you know the rear's not gonna step out. These are really sticky tires, and I believe they're giving the motorcycle a little bit more traction than what I've previously experienced on the Metzelers. So yeah, those who like to slide around the rear will have some difficulties, but those who really like to maintain a single line and accelerate hard out of the corner, they're going to feel really good with this tire. So it depends on your riding style. Following the spirited cornering session, we were not tired, but our blood was boiling and there was a lot of adrenaline rush. We hit a local restaurant for breakfast. It was time for some bad roads, which was not too challenging. I remember riding through the Salbani forest, a beautiful scenic place with a nice patch of black tarmac cutting through the lush greenery. It was a two-way road, so we rode carefully for most of the parts, apart from the corners, till we hit the off-road patches on the way to Gangani. These were just red soil and nothing difficult, but just a little variety to get a feel of the tires on some bad road conditions or some off-roads. Gangani was awesome, a lovely place with lots of tourists and amazing views. The ride back was on cold tarmac, and it was more a test for us riders than the tires. A person jumped in front of me to cross the road, and it was 100% braking from me because I would have hit him. He was just a few feet away. And even there, the tires remained composed, the bike remained stable. Even my Metzelers do the same under hard braking. So in conclusion, I must say that the highway stability of this tire is more, lane changing is better, and cornering is a lot better than the Metzeler H-rated tires that come stock with the current Duke and RC390. The W-rated tires are same in high speeds and under hard braking, but cornering advantage goes to the Apollo. Due to being winters, we could not test the wet grip of the tires, but if you want to know more, you should subscribe and comment below, because you know that is the type of content that Ride with Rahul prefers to make. It's a slight win over the Metzeler W-rated tires and a big win over the Metzeler's H-rated stock tires. If you love to corner, then you would definitely enjoy these. I recommend it to anybody who's riding a Duke 390 or an RC 390. I even recommend it to my friends who are on a Dominar 400 because I've never liked the tires on the Dominar 400. I think you guys will love this tire, and Apollo claims that tire lasting, how many kilometers they'll last, they have 50% more life than the stock Metzelers. If that is true, then these are going to be considered way more cost effective. They are priced slightly lesser than W-rated tires of Metzelers, but if you consider how much longer life they're going to last, it really comes out to be much more economical in the longer run because you're going to get those extra kilometers. I've always had a bit of issue with the front end stability of the old version of the Duke 390, but with this tire upgrade, I think I have solved a lot of it and I'm really riding harder. I think these may be the new standard to look up to for the KTM Duke 390 and the KTM RC 390. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'll leave you guys with some more drone shots as to finish the video because I believe I didn't showcase Gun-Gunny too much. So you enjoy those drone shots, don't go away. Stay subscribed, hit that bell icon and wait for my next video. I love you all. Goodbye.